Today, I'm going through my top 5 guitars of 2024, electrics and acoustics, all across the board. It was a fantastic year for guitars, so check it out. How's it going, guys? Cooper Greenberg here at Alamo Music Center in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Turn your notifications on, like the videos, share them with your friends. Tell me what you think in the comments below. It all helps us get eyes from other guitar lovers out there. So, with that being said, 2024, fantastic year for me, fantastic year for guitars. So you put those together, that's what I'm talking about, all right? We did some incredible trips this year. We've shown you some of that. More is coming. But, I mean, we went to Furch this year, we went to Taylor, we went to NAMM, got to do a lot of cool stuff with Martin and Fender. And, yeah, it was a great year for me being here at the store. Thank you for making it a good year. It was everything I could have asked for. So I'm going to tell you 5 guitars-ish that make my top 5 list. There's some honorable mentions in there. Some of these are cheating, but let's get right into it. With number 5, I mentioned Furch. Great year for Furch guitars. A lot of really cool stuff came out. We saw their new neck system. We saw a bunch of cool new little Janes, redesigns of certain series in there. Really, really great stuff. I will tell you that my favorite Furch that I've played all year is now owned by a fella named Mike Lee. If you're watching this video, Mike, I hope you love it. I think he digs it. The Dreadnought cutaway that we got with the Madagascar rosewood from our Furch backstage trip over the summer, that was an incredible guitar, and we've seen a lot of really good rainbows from that trip. So had that Koa OM, there's the Sinker and Ebony GA, really great stuff. The one that I was most passionate about at the factory was that Dreadnought cutaway with the Madagascar rosewood for a lot of different reasons. You can't get that wood anymore from most builders out there. If you can, it's incredibly expensive. So great value on that guitar. They do stuff at that factory that nobody else, I think, can do for that price with that level of craftsmanship and the quality of materials. And I've said before, I don't love Dreadnoughts with cutaways. That one, both loved how it looked, loved how it sounded, and loved how it played. So Mike's got that guitar. Lucky him. I would have loved to take it, but I will say that if I was ever going to do a Furch custom, that's exactly what I'd make. And hopefully we can maybe get a little run of them maybe next year, because I think a lot of people would love that guitar. But Furch Dreadnought with the cutaway Madagascar, check it out. Up next, number 4, 50th anniversary of Taylor. We saw mounds of guitars from them this year, and all of them, I think, have a special vibe. And I think you ask anybody in the store, everybody would have a different favorite. And I think a lot of Taylor owners out there, everybody has their favorite. Some of the honorable mentions for me: 1, love that GS Mini. I just think a GS Mini Torrified Rosewood, great option. Sinker on an 814 Builders, always a good call. We saw the PS24 and the PS14 and the 924, 614, the whited out guy. All those are very cool. All of the 50th anniversaries are very cool. My personal favorite that came out this year is something that I've been waiting on for a long time. I've been asking for, and that's part of the Legacy collection. And all of our Legacy guitars that we've gotten in so far have been signed by Bob and Kurt, and that's very cool. X-Brace guitars, kind of harkening back to the old school days. And I just love that. And we got to go to the factory. We got to interview those guys about them. And I've just been a big, big fan of those guitars. My favorite is that 810E. I've been asking for a square shoulder Dreadnought from Taylor since the day that they discontinued it. And finally, I got it, 810E. I said this about the Furch. If I was to buy a Taylor today, I would get myself an 810E. And it would be very cool if it was signed by those guys. But I think we got one more coming that's going to have a signature. Luckily for myself and everybody else, they're going to be available now. They're not a limited series. They're not even technically a 50th anniversary series. So they're going to continue on. We're going to see Legacy guitars. Hopefully we'll get some other models, because the next thing I want to see a 510. I think that'd be great. But for right now, top of my list for Taylor, 810E Legacy Collection. Check it out. Number 3. Again, absolutely cheating. There was a lot of great stuff from Fender this year, and I'm a Fender guy. All my electric guitars are Fender. I have multiples. I got 2 Tellys, Strat, Jazzmaster, and another Strat. So I love Fender, and I'm a big fan of Fender. It was a dream of mine to customize my own Stratocaster, and that's what I got to do this year. And it was celebrating our 95th anniversary. So we got 70th anniversary of the Strat this year. We saw the cool Ultra and Amethyst, all the kind of Time Machine stuff, some custom shop, all that. Great year for the Strat, but it's our 95th anniversary, so I got to do my own Strat, and it was Sherwood Green, tortoiseshell pickguard, the pickups that I like best, which are the Tomatillo and Ancho Poblano pickups, roasted neck, rosewood slab board. My dream Strat. I did not purchase it. It is still here in the store. I keep it downstairs in a case, and I don't keep it on the sales floor. Bring it out for special occasions. It's my ideal Strat. I think it feels perfect. It sounds perfect. We showed it on the channel before. Chris did his own Strat. A couple other guys here did Strats, but that one's got a special place in my heart, and it was a dream come true for me. Maybe I'll buy it at some point. Who's to say? I would love it. If somebody else gets it, I might get another one built for me. My Strat, it's cheating, 1960. That's my number 3. Now we're getting into the top spots. And this was tough because there was a couple things vying for the top. But this is also sort of cheating because it's generally a series. But I will try to narrow it down as I talk into what my favorite is. So I fell in love with the Yairi guitars this year. We kind of started filtering those in last year, but then I spent some time with the guys at NAMM, with Chris, and you know, those guitars, the Honduran series, they are leaps and bounds above pretty much anything, I think, with the same wood combination, anything in that price range. They beat out so many guitars that I think are priced much higher. And the manufacturing of those guitars, the build quality, I have played every single one that's come in the store. Not just the Honduran mahogany stuff, old growth, but the rosewood, Sinker rosewood, Adirondack, Sinker redwood, they're all incredible. All of them have passed through my hands as people have bought them that asked me to try them out or anything. They are currently, you know, standard production, just like my favorite guitars, acoustic guitars right now. So We showed off the FYM 66 HD. I think I get somebody calling me on that guitar every single day, and they're not easy to come by. We've had some on order for a little bit, still waiting for those to get restocked. The DYM 60, that is, if I were making a list of priority on guitars to add in my collection, that DYM 60 right now is at the top of the list, which is high praise because I already got an Adirondack top mahogany Dreadnought this year, and I haven't shown that on the channel. That was my own thing. I'd like to show it off at some point. But the DYM 60 HD, yeah, I think everybody's favorite right now would be that FYM 66, all Honduran mahogany. For me, that Dreadnought, we've shown it on the channel. Impeccable guitar. So really number 2 is the Yairi Masterworks stuff, leaning towards that Honduran, although everything's been great. But I'm going to say my number 2, DYM 60. Again, this is not a guitar that came out in 2024. It's been around for a little bit, but we reviewed it this year. Can't say enough good about that guitar. Check it out. Suspense is building. Before we get to number 1, I've got to go through my list of honorable mentions because I started trying to write out 5 and I just started listing stuff that I liked from this year. So here's everything that didn't quite make the top 5, but they're all up there in spirit. These are honorable mentions. First, there was a catch guitar this year. We showed it off in a video talking about Bacote. It was a GP, which I never really freak out about Taylor Grand Pacifics, but this one just had some special sauce. It kind of, cheated a little bit by having Longhorn inlays, but it was a GP torrefied top with a Bacote back and sides. That guitar rocks. Heritage. We started bringing on Heritage this year. I like everything that I've played from them, but the H575 was my favorite. Big old jazz box. That thing is incredible. And again, something that I'd like to add to my collection. But across the board, custom core stuff and standard Heritage, one of the coolest lines that we could have brought on this year, as well as Harmony, but that H575, that's up there. The Tag 3s, Yamaha Tag 3, it didn't make the top 5 because I'm mad because like a dozen people pre-ordered them. So whenever they come in, they're getting sent out to the people that already ordered them. I don't have more time to mess around with them. That was one of the funnest videos that I got to do this year. The built-in looper, all the effects, the phone app, it goes against everything that I ever think that I like about acoustic guitars because I want to be a purist, but
I would kill somebody for that guitar.
I'm not allowed to say that on YouTube, I don't think. Maybe shadow ban incoming. However, I love that guitar. Tag 3, couple more. We saw the Ultra 2s. I didn't mention this with the other Fender stuff earlier because I knew it was coming back around. Ultra 2s are cool. I am a fan of the Ultra series. As it was before, I own an Ultra Jazzmaster, and I'm mad that they did not keep the Jazzmaster love rolling. There's no Jazzmaster in the Ultra 2 line. They replaced it with the Meteora. That just so happens to be my favorite addition to that line. So I can forgive them for not putting a Jazzmaster in there because the Ultra 2 Meteora rocks. And in Avalanche, I play that guitar all day. Those humbuckers, they rock. Bass roll off. That guitar is light, easy to play, and it rocks. And finally, I'm thinking maybe Chris put this on his list. I don't know what he did, but I got to throw some Gibson love in there. The ES330. I love that guitar. I love Casinos. I love the Heritage H530. So the 330 in natural, absolutely one of my favorite guitars that came out this year, and it's great. Those are my honorable mentions. However, number 1, everybody can see it coming, all right? Because I had the pleasure of going to Furch. I got to do Taylor this year. I got to do my first Fender custom shop. It was a record year for me in terms of things that I got to do at this store. Been great. My favorite thing that I've been so excited about all year that we've talked ad nauseum about, so you can guess, it's the Martin Custom Shops, our 95th anniversary Martin Custom Shops 1929 collection. I got 2 in here. We've shown both of these on the channel, but first off, we got to do the Alamo Deluxe, Dread, and Triple O, and first round sold through. We got a restock and all these wood sets that I got to pick with Colin and Jimmy at the factory. They still blow my mind to look at, to play. I think the people that have come in here looking for modern deluxe guitars that have kind of jumped up into these have been very happy with them. This is one of the Dreadnoughts, based off of D28 Modern Deluxe, but Addy top, Addy bracing, both VTS, and some hand-selected wild grain rosewood, and some of the aesthetic appointments that we really love here. These, to me, I've always liked the Modern Deluxe guitars, but I really love how those came out, and I've gotten to see all this wood that I've picked come to fruition with these guitars. So Alamo Deluxe, this is like a 9-way tie for number 1. I love the Alamo Deluxe guitars. One that we sold immediately that I think has been passed around in some of the forums out there was that 12 fret Zero Cote back and sides Alpine spruce top. That guitar was insane, but probably the one that's nearest and dearest to my heart would be this one, because this was a really long time coming and just something that I never thought I would actually be able to see and play. But I love the Authentic collection, the D18 Authentic 1937. It's always going to be at the top of my list, and this was our attempt to do a 1929 Authentic, specific to our store because we started in 1929, but this basically pulls out all the stops and creates my dream OM28, which came out, exceeded all expectations. Addy top, Addy bracing, that's Guatemalan back and sides. I got to pick these sets as well. This one is specifically very pretty to me, and all hide glue, thin finish, banjo tuners, no logo on the headstock, just like there would be back in 1929, and the stamp on the back. We did an event, which if you came to that event, thank you for being here. I thought it was a really good time. But Colin from Martin actually brought a bunch of catalogs, and the OM28 came out in 1929, so that's why it's this cool sort of crossover between our store and Martin. But you can see in these catalogs, which I have some, if anybody's interested, I can send you one while supplies last. But you can see the OM28 when it first came out. It's a 1930 catalog, but right when it came out. And it's all these specs. And I think it's really, really cool to kind of try to recreate that. Only difference is can't do Brazilian, and we did add a truss rod because I think that is necessary. But this guitar, we put this out on a video. A lot of great comments, people saying, you know, it's always hard to hear through YouTube, whether you're watching on your phone, ideally headphones. But I think the sound of this guitar really shows what a great Addy top, great rosewood back and sides, and hide glue, and just everything that kind of marks that golden era of Martin can contribute to a certain sound. So this has got to be my number one. It's incredible. Take a listen. There you have it. There's my top 58 guitars of 2024. And like I said, one of the best years that I have had working here at the store. Everybody's putting out good stuff right now. I think that, you know, all the brands that I like had something very cool to show for this year. And I'm really looking forward to what's coming in 2025 because I already have seen some sneak peeks and gotten to play a few things from these brands. And so I think around NAMM time, you're going to be seeing some stuff that I've been excited to talk about. And we're going to have a great start to the year. I'm very much looking forward to Yamaha and Martin and Furch and Alvarez and everybody, you know, kind of what they're doing. And ideally, we have a whole new crop of very cool exclusives to show you for next year. But in the meantime, some of the guitars that I mentioned are gone. Some of them are still here. And if anybody wants to talk to me about the 100 other guitars that should have made the list, I'm more than happy to talk to you about them. I think you ask anybody in the store, their top 5. Everybody's going to be different. But, I'd love to hear what you guys think, what some of your favorites were. And also just say thank you very much for supporting us, supporting the channel, buying guitars from us. And if you don't buy guitars from us, it's still really great to talk to people, meet people in the guitar world, and kind of geek out about this stuff, because that is 100% why we are here. So if you are interested in viewing any of the guitars, whether they're here or not, all those are going to be in the description below. You can check out our website. And if you want to recreate any of the stuff that is not here anymore, be it custom shops or, one-off things, we can typically do that. So if you fell in love with something that went too fast, we'll be able to get another one, hopefully, somehow. So let us know, give us a call, comment on the videos, and thank you very much for watching. Have a fantastic holiday season and New Year's, and we'll see you next time.